So today, let us continue the topic, this model of the module 5. So that is steps in establishing micro and small enterprise. Last class I just briefed up through the diagrammatical representation. That is what all the various steps we had in establishing micro and small enterprise. So later on we have 3 case studies. So fact-wise, maybe I'll give you the case studies document because it is a lengthy case study. Overall, I can give you the idea what exactly they are dealing with. Those case studies are dealing with. Then finally we have institutional support. Again, this is a directly a point-to-point talk. That is what is MSME, NSIC. So what is SIDBI, Small Industrial Development Bank of India. So what all their objectives and the motives, and how you can take the benefit out of these institutions, that is institutional support. So let me go to the topic. So this was the diagram that I had shown you last class. So that is, so what all the steps in order to start up with the small or mini industry. Flowchart for setting a small enterprise. So what is the first step is the selection of a project. So in the case of a selection of project, let me go. The project selection consists of the preliminary activities. So what could be the preliminary activities? Product or service selection, right? Whether it is a product based or a service based, it is a major point. Then location selection, definitely location, the where exactly you need to start up your new project or a firm. I would say project is a firm over here. So don't think in a way that project means previously, as we have studied in this module, what is a project here. So in the case of various stages of internal process, entrepreneurial process. So again, we have studied a word called project. So that was a quite different related to a entrepreneur. But in the case of micro and small, here itself we have studied preparation of a project and ERP. Remember? So this was the topic we discussed in module 4. So this was basically the project in the field of documentary process. Whereas in the case of micro and small scale enterprise, so the project could be a firm. Firm itself is a project. So project feasibility study, you need to go through a study after a location has been selected. You need to go through, as I say, I just go up with these topics in a small short span of time, not on a long stretch. So location selection, project feasibility study, preparation of a project profile and business plan. You should have a final business plan. So that should include so all the preliminaries activities that is being involved. For example, selection, starting from the location of a project, feasibility study, so preparation of a project profile and business plan preparation. So what is project or service selection? So individually, as I said, individually we need to focus. The main factors here we need to consider is whether nearness of the proximity of the market, so availability of the market demand, all those things, availability of raw materials, so availability of transformation and communication facilities. So product or service, how do you select the product or service? Based on these factors such as some available market, raw materials, transformation and communication facilities. So whether the incentives are being provided or not, or the concessions. So what government industrial policy be rely on this particular service selection or availability of infrastructure facilities. So the manpower, that is availability of labor. So, and not only that, the peoples who are going to invest on it, or the people himself as an entrepreneur, his convenience for the entrepreneurs. These are all the major factors that come across products or service selection. Similarly, what is business plan preparation? So I'm just briefing up this all of you. What is business plan preparation? What is product or service selection? So all this comes under this. The first point, business plan preparation. So basically it is a document where the entrepreneur plans his business that is how well he can organize and effective responses to situations. So theoretically he has to write up in the case of ups and downs, that is in the case of losses or in case of the profits. So uh, what all the factors that the institution goes through, right? Business plan is used to make crucial startup decisions, to reassure lenders, investors, to measure operational progress, right? So progress doesn't mean that it is only the progress means it is in terms of positive. Maybe there are certain losses. So in the proceedings, how well a business plan is being prepared is being discussed. So to test planning, to test forecast, forecasts are nothing but the prediction. To set the standards, we need to set standards for good operational management. So third is a decision on the constitution. Okay, decide on the constitution. See, decide on the constitution. It depends upon the, see all of you diagrammatically. So we have a registration. Second point is a decide on the constitution. So here, from here we have a subdivisions. Obtain SSA registration, obtain the clearance from the specific department application. What is the second point? Decides on the constitution. What is the meaning of decide on the constitution? To start any enterprise, the promoters have to decide the constitution of unit. There are three major alternatives: cooperative, partnership, and the company. So in fact, it has to be decided to the initial, in the beginning stage of the project, and necessary the basic formality should be completed, right? That is a provisional registration certificate is made at the district industries center. So this is to decide whether it is a proprietary business, partnership business, or a company business, right? It has to be decided at the prior point. Try to understand. So once again, I repeat, decide on the institution at the preliminary stage. You have to decide whether it is a proprietary business, partner business, or the company business. So third is obtaining SSA registrations. Obtaining SSA registrations means that entrepreneurs desiring to start small scale industries initially has to obtain the provisional registration certificate. Once the unit goes into the production, the that is it has to be converted, that is a provisional registration certificate has to be converted into a permanent registration certificate. It is same as if like you get a provisional mass cards before your convocation is being delivered, that is immediately the results is being displayed. So you have a, that is it is a kind of license saying that initially you can have a startup. To start up the firm, you should have a provisional registration certificate, is a minimal registration, right? So once you have a registration, so once in a while you will get a final registration. So that is called a permanent registration certificate. So fourth point is a specific clearance. There are a number of statutory clearance required to start micro and small scale industries. Some of them agricultural land conversion. If they are using an agricultural land, it has to be converted into non-agricultural land. So if it is a building plan approved by the local authorities like a municipal, and they need to follow a few of the regulations related to factories, trade license from the local authorities, and from the pollution board you have to take no objection certificate. All these things would be there. Food adulteration act license. So if at all, if anything happens, so if it is a industry firm related to food industry, you should be have a licensing related to the food adulteration and act license. Then fifth point is a land or shed selection. So wherein for industrial project, suitable industrial site or a ready industrial shed is required, right? So this is all about getting a construction for this thing shed. So that satisfy this specific requirement, right? Finally, the plant and machinery. In the case of plant and machinery, definitely this is one of the major point. I just want to scroll you through once again the diagram, because this topic is totally related with the last class diagram what I had depicted. So overall I just told. See, point number 5, arrange for land shed. Point number 6, arrange for plant and machinery. 7th, arrange for infrastructure. So this is what I would just go on briefing up to complete this topic, so that I left with no more other topics. So as I said, after this topic, there is only a theoretical part that you have to go through. That is, what are the SSIs, and what all the case studies. So I can just go on reading and I can just brief up that. Nothing else could be done to make sure that you understand the topic, right? Plant and machinery. This requirement for a particular project could be purchased from recognized manufacturer dealers. So even the machines could be hired or purchased, that is for a rent could be taken, but that satisfy the industrial corporation limited. Okay, so hire basis, once you hire the machine, it has to be approved, that is by the industry national small industries corporation limited. The 7th is the infrastructure facilities. As you know, the main infrastructure are land shed of the project. They should have a proper power connection, supply, water supply, telephone, and the internet facilities. Project report, a detailed project or theoretically it has to be should be provided. So usually the report is useful to the entrepreneur for planning and implementing the project. So what is the project report in consist of? Detailed project provides plans for the project, which is useful for entrepreneur planning, implementation, and all. See, overall project report gives a detailed insight of the techno-economic viability of the project. So implementation, in the entrepreneurs have to take necessary steps to physically implement the project. It was all theoretically, now you are into the field. After obtaining the various licenses, clearances, infrastructure facilities, so major activities that the entrepreneur have to undertake is construction of the shed, order the machineries, recruit the people, that is a hiring, taking an interview as per the requirement, resume scrutinization. After once you resume scrutinization, interview has to be conducted, in which you know all those things, like how you in the college, how you would be placed for a various software industry. So based on the percentage, the initial uh, screening would be done. So once your cutoff is given, so you would be going with the various rounds. All those things will be there in the recruit personnel, and based on the domain interest, it has to be taken. It is not that for a mechanical domain a CS engineer has to be hired, right? So arrange for raw materials that is being required, marketing, and definitely marketing is a strong team everywhere we have. So obtain financial clearance, so any sort of clearance it has to be obtained. So today's topic was that. So next topic is the institutional support. What are the institutional supports? So small scale institutions supporting small scale industries. So just all of you, just brief up, go through this topic, because institutional support is a theoretical topic. I don't want to go today with that topic. So I request those who have not given the attendance can give the attendance on the chat session. So this was the topic, micro and small scale industry, steps in establishing micro and small enterprise. So next we have 3 case studies. I told you need to go through. So maybe I'll provide you the from the Kanishka Bedi, the theoretical part of case studies, and I can just give the brief up of it. What exactly? Though I give the brief up, it is a case study. You need to read those case studies. What happened? All these things. It is not like a story. Then final topic is a institutional support, right? That supports the business industry. Fine. For example, NSIC means National Small Industries Corporation, right? So Small Industrial Development Bank of India, right? As such, there are many things. So you have to go with that. That is the institutional support. So institutional support. So you have divisions on this. So let me just go through the diagram so that I'll start this. I'll complete this topic as the last few sessions of my ETM classes. Today, as of now, maybe it is enough for you. You go through this thing. So institutional support, I have to individually, I have to go. What is MSME board? What is the meaning of MSME? And what is NSIC, National Small Scale Industry Corporation? So why it is being, what is the objective of it? What is the functions of it? SIDB, so Small Industrial Development Work, when it was established, what is the objective and what is the functions? The same thing could be so you might get a question like explain any, write a short notes on SIDB and KIDB. So you should be able to know the objectives and functions. You may be asked to list the institutional support and explain any one of it. So that time you have a provision to study, right? If they ask you what is the full form of test TEC SOK and explain this functionality, you should be able to explain it. So as of now today, let me stop the session.